Okay, this is Mike from Metal Temple, and I'm here with Yehi Zaken. How you doing there, man?
Not bad. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So, let's dig into this. First off, I wanted to ask, really, just out of curiosity, why did you guys call the album "Sway for a Better Day"? If I may ask.
There's a word with the there's a game with the words over there. I mean, "Sway for a Better Day." It's some kind of you can take it as an optimistic name, but if you look at the cover, maybe you get it that we didn't mean it in such an optimistic. I mean, we didn't mean to push through an optimistic, let's say, message to the people. Living in this part of the world, you can really get frustrated by, all the surroundings, media, things you're getting exposed to on a daily basis. And "Sway for a Better Day," is the name of a song that actually recommends you to isolate yourself from society, go hide yourself somewhere, and not literally, and emotionally and mentally more.
Yeah, I got what you mean.
And isolate yourself, put yourself in a place, we say, far from, find a place far from the bay, far from any road, highway, build a shelter out of clay, and sway for a better day,
So in a sense, it's like if you're stressed out or angry and you try and find your place of your own happy place, in other words, until it actually sways away and then everything gets clearer.
Something like that, yeah. It's a very sarcastic name. It's a very sarcastic name.
Well, the artwork too is pretty badass as well. I wanted to ask as well, who was behind the artwork for "Sway for a Better Day"?
It's an Israeli guy that did a lot of covers here. I actually, you know what? I forgot his name. Can I check? Because I'm not the person who's dealing with in the band with things like artwork, video clips, and stuff like that. I usually deal with the music and more with the gigs around here, around Israel, the ones we're doing.
That's cool.
Since I also own a pub in Jerusalem and I'm well connected to a lot of buddies here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could own a pub. I would be happy. I'd be the happiest person in the world.
It's a crazy, crazy work. Crazy work. For good and for bad, especially in a city like Jerusalem and a bar like ours, which is kind of an underground bar, which is not common in Israel at all. For sure in Jerusalem, which is kind of, religious-based city, and not like other cities in here, like Tel Aviv or Haifa, who are maybe more secular. In Jerusalem, to have a place like this, you have to, it's a statement, basically.
So, let's see here. So, one of the things I actually noticed when listening to the album was that you. Well, I was saying this even to Lior, actually, that you have a very Phil Anselmo kind of voice going on there.
I was surprised that you write it. You know what? I heard it before. I even sang a few songs of Pantera in a tribute band a few years ago.
Nice.
I never try to imitate anyone, and I really love Phil Anselmo, don't get me wrong. Maybe some people who heard me mention the name Chuck Billy, but but again, I'm not trying to imitate anyone. So when someone is telling me something like that, it's really flattering, but I try to take it in proportions. And Phil Anselmo is a much better singer than me. Period.
Well, you have a lot of different elements in there.
It's a huge compliment.
I'm saying it's like you have a lot of different elements with your voice. When I heard the song 4 More, 4 More Years.
Yeah.
Well, from listening to that song, just from the very beginning, I loved it on the whole basis that there was a lot of groove going on there. There was a lot of different stuff in there, but some familiar stuff. And then when I heard you sing, it was like, holy shit! It's like this guy is just fucking nailing it. It's like, holy shit.
Well, this song, for more years, is a very criticizing song towards the political system in all over the world, not just in Israel, mostly in America, actually. We are being blinded by the media and by politicians who are promising us things, and they want us to vote for them and keep them in power for another 4 years.
Yeah.
When in the end, all of them are doing the same thing. It doesn't matter who stands in the head of the pyramid. In the end, they are serving someone who is more powerful than them. And this is what this song is about. And if I sing it, I sing a very low note there all the time, and it's really coming from the heart. I'm really mad about these people,
I get what you mean, because myself, I'm a born American. And I can even say that my political system is a bunch of bullshit, and I just don't vote because I have the whole theory saying that it's good to vote for someone who you believe will do something right, but in the end, you never know if they might turn into something else. So I try and keep myself away from politics, but I understand where you're coming from with that whole idea.
They don't have even a choice to do what they want. I think they're being controlled by bigger forces than politics. I'm talking about mostly financial ones or military ones.
Machine.
But the politicians are meaningless nowadays. Meaningless.
So basically, more or less.
By the way, the song "A Sway for a Better Day" starts with a few words by JFK.
I know.
Which we believe was the last real politician in American politics.
I can agree with that, because JFK stood for something that was real and wasn't he wasn't a slave to the machine. He was a person that literally wanted to try and do good for his country.
That's true. Probably. I mean, I didn't live back then. I was born in 1976. Obviously, I only heard about JFK, but from things I heard him say and things I heard that was told about him, I tend to believe that he was the very last independent president of the free world.
Agreed. He was a fantastic leader from what I've read. I mean, honestly, I'm more. My only favorite political figure was Abraham Lincoln. I was a big admirer of Lincoln. Yeah, I mean, the man wanted to try and free those who had no free will for themselves. He was a man who truly wanted to do right by everyone, and that's what I respected. The man wanted to free the slaves because he wanted to show that we are all equal in our own little way.
Yeah, true.
So back onto music, really. Yeah, but good. But that's a pretty cool thought you have there, though. That's some really interesting stuff. I will actually note. Anyway, speaking onto the album now, how do you feel the recording process was for this record? Was it easy? Was it hard? Or was it a nice bit of everything? With efforts put into the album?
First of all, it took very long time. We recorded the drums. You know what? I joined the band about 2.5 years ago.
All right.
In the beginning, they had a different singer. When they started recording the drums, I was not in the band. I rewrote the lyrics and the melodies to all the songs, and we changed them a little bit. And then we recorded guitars, and then I recorded vocals, but then we sent it to be mixed, and we didn't like the results of the guitars, so we recorded the guitars again. This time sending it to be mixed in Manchester.
Manchester, England.
It took ages. I mean, and then when it came back, we had a few notes about it, and we sent it back and recorded again. And I think the whole process took something like good 2 years.
Wow.
Until we got the final results, and only about a week and a half ago, 2.5 years after I joined the band, we actually printed out the last printed copy and released it officially, let's say. The video clips in the middle, but we did a lot of things in the meantime. I mean, we did the video clips when the mix was not ready yet, and we put the real final recording on top of it in the end, stuff like that. We were very enthusiastic to release everything out together. The video clips and the disc being mastered, and the cover, the artwork, the internet site. So yeah, it was a long process. Of course, we enjoyed it because it's our lives, you know. Some of us has day jobs, more successful than the others, but in the bottom line, all we like to do is being on stage and being in the studio and being in the writing process, because this is the real fun, you know.
Yeah. So it was sent over to Manchester, England.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool in a sense, but
yeah. It was mastered and mixed by a guy named Mike Miner from Manchester, and I did an amazing job. You know, amazing job. We really like the results of the mixing and mastering. It's better than we expected. It can even be sound.
Nice.
He really took it somewhere extreme and really, you know, really tight. I really love it.
Well, I think in the end, the results for the album actually turned out fantastic. I mean, honestly, and I mean this sincerely. It's been one of my favorite albums to review since the new year began, because it's really something special. It's tight, it's heavy, and it has a bit of everything in there for everyone, I guess.
First of all, thanks. You know, we have a lot of meaning in our music. I like to see my lyrics as, I'm not saying high-level poetry. I mean, who am I to say, you know, but the lyrics are not simple and never happy. It's very criticism towards the world, and I have a very different lookout than most people, I think, on the world, and being able to express it through music is a gift, I think.
Yes. And that's actually true. I mean, music is a very, to me, I see music as a very spiritual thing, because when you create music, you're extending yourself with your art. And I do the same thing with my with the bands I'm in, really. And I really work hard to try and make that as an extension of myself, to actually see if I'm capable of actually going to that next level.
It's true, you know, and with me, I mean, not all the songs are about politics or society. There's a lot of personal songs in this album. Really? At least one of them is extremely personal, and until today, I don't always like to let's say explain to everyone what this song is about all the way, because they are so, you know, the little things in the song that makes it very private. It's called A Fine Line to Sodomy, and I like to do that. I had another band called Caveman King back in the days, and all these songs there were so personal and were so much, let's say, personal point of view on the world and what it does to me and how I feel about these things. You understand? And in Sintax, I do it sometimes, but sometimes the songs are very criticizative and what the world does to the world, to the people, what people are doing to each other, and taking me out of the picture in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
think that's the two sides of Sintax in many ways.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's very interesting, really. I mean, if I may add towards that, I noticed that the band's logo has two different parts to it. One is like a solid piece, and the other one is like a stamp. Would you say that the name Sintax in some way has the meaning towards that?
Again, the word sin maybe reflects the global point of view and of myself and how it affects on me. And the word tax is more, let's say, a technical term. You understand? And this is how we see politics, how we see. I mean, there's the personal side, and then the let's say global side.
Yeah.
And in one word, Sintax is the tax you pay for your sins. And I think butterfly effect all over here, all over the world. You always pay for your sins, not sins in a religious way or in the religious meaning. If you treat someone badly,
karma.
You will get the ricochet. You know, yeah. Karma, yeah, like a boomerang. It comes back to you.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, you know, in here, and it's the same thing all over the world. Our governments are doing it in a global way, and we're doing it on a personal level all the time.
Yeah, I can see that mainly. I mean, honestly, I guess the only thing we have to fight back is the freedom of speech we have left in our music, and what really. I mean, nowadays when you look at politics, you see that someone always wants to be ahead of the other, and it's I totally get what you're saying. Really, I mean, you see it all. I see it all the time in the paper when I'm on the bus, and I see it on the news, and it's just a whole global effect in some sense. So. I wanted to ask as well, what were your main by both musical and also on your own? What were your main influences for the time that you actually joined the band and started rewriting the lyrics?
The lyrics are mostly quite different than other metal bands. I think my influences, lyrics-wise, are not coming from the metal world. More people like either Charles Bukowski or some, let's say, other people who knew how to express their feelings in one sentence that was so powerful. Mostly literature, actually, over there.
Oh.
Lyrics-wise, but music-wise, it's different. All of us like Slayer, but beside of that, each one of us likes kind of a different metal. Because I'm also into stoner and
nice.
Things like that, but also I like to listen to progressive music, not just metal, progressive music in general. Like I can hear, you know, even jazz here and there.
I'm the same way. I'm into my funk music as well.
Yeah, all kind of things. And then there's Lemmy, the guitar player, who and Kaban, the bass player, who likes, both of them likes hardcore, and Kaban also likes punk, and Lemmy also likes like extreme metal, like death metal and stuff like that. Roy is more into classic metal. Like he would love Megadeth and Maiden and Metallica, which nowadays we see as irrelevant bands. I mean, they influenced our lives throughout all my childhood. I listened to Iron Maiden. I'm wearing their t-shirt right now, you know. I'm not saying that, you know, but it's not my influence anymore because it's something that was, you know, done in the 80s and done with probably in the mid-90s.
I get what you mean. Yeah, like an architecture. Like it helped to actually construct the beginning. But yeah. Yeah, and then our drummer, who's more into things like Lamb of God and Hatebreed, or the American wave of metal,
that we're not so connected to, but he brings it to the band, and we suddenly sound not like an old thrash metal band, which we used to sound like in the beginning, but more like, it reminded you of Pantera, and we were surprised, but without the drummer, it wouldn't sound like that. It would sound more like Motorhead than Pantera, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
he brings all the grooves into the music, and he knows how to, let's say, approach the guitar riffs of the guitar players.
Yeah.
And when we work together, this is where he's pulling it, and all together it comes out like a mixture of styles of metal that we succeeded on combining into this album.
I was going to say, actually, because I noticed one thing when I found the band's Facebook page. I noticed one particular thing, that there's a massive Motorhead theme going on there, because I noticed that you guys are really into your Motorhead.
Why? Because of the T-shirts we were wearing, or because?
No, I was looking around and I noticed a few bits and pieces of Motorhead, like. It's like, are there members in the band that really celebrate Motorhead as an entirety, or?
Yeah, first of all, Lemmy, our guitar player, that's not his real name. just for you to know. So he's the one who's also in charge of all the Facebook pages, and he really loves Motorhead.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not. I mean, we admire Lemmy. I think. He's the icon of rock and roll of all times.
Oh yeah.
In the end, if you think about a rock star, if I think about a rock star, I think of him.
Well, naturally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's that definition of a rock star.
Yeah, I remember.
I used to love it more. Roy and I used to have a tribute band to Motorhead when we were young. I mean, I used to do a very good imitation of Lemmy with a bit of Israeli accent here, but either of that.
That's pretty cool. Let's see here. So now that the album is released and such, what are the plans ahead? Do you guys have any shows booked or any big things ahead?
Short-term plans, we have. We're going to do a big celebration releasing the album. We're going to do a very big gig in Tel Aviv.
Nice.
We have another show scheduled in my bar, which is very rare that we're performing in my bar, because I don't like to perform there because it's my workplace in the end. But people are really enthusiastic in Jerusalem about the releasing of the album, and we know it's an opportunity for them to see us for free, so we're doing it once. Our long-term plans, we have almost an old album written, a new one. And we're thinking of, in the next, let's say, 2-3 months, hopefully, to start the process again of recording it. And hopefully it won't take 2 years this time, but several months, and we'll release it, because we changed 2 members of the band during the recording of the previous album. So and I was one of them. In the beginning, me, and then I wanted to rewrite the whole material because I want to sing only my lyrics. And they know me for many years. And they wanted me to do that because they already got familiar with my abilities, and they saw me in another band I had, and they really liked it. I hope this time we will be more stable. It looks like everyone in the band is like a hardcore Sintax, enthusiastic, and all of us want the same thing, and we're on the same page, and this is the next thing.
Nice.
The next big thing, to record this wonderful new songs we wrote.
I'm looking forward to that. Then I can guarantee I'll ask. I guarantee when I hear any news about the next recording, I'll definitely put it down for my next review. Because honestly, like I said, and I keep on saying this, I really enjoyed Sway for a Better Day. It is an achievement. I will say that it's by far something that you should be proud of, man. It's something incredible.
Thank you. I was blushing a little bit under my beard when I read your review. I usually don't read reviews. You must know that. I just don't. I'm not this kind of a guy. I think if someone reviewed us, then let's work on the next one. I always look forward But the guys told me, listen, you should read what this guy wrote about us, about you especially. And I read it, and I was like, wow. I mean, I think he's exaggerating a little bit. Not being humble, you know, I'm just like that. You know, it's hard for me to take compliments in such level. It's not that someone came to me and said, you're good. He basically said, man, you're Phil Anselmo of the new age. And I read it, and I was like, see, I think, not to criticize your criticism about us, but I'm saying, you know, it was a very unique thing to read it, and first of all, thank you for that. And for sure, the first thing I do after releasing the second album will be sending you one copy, not just to review it, because we really appreciate people who likes our music and really understand deeply what we're doing, and it seemed like you did.
Yeah, man.
And not a lot of people are going deep into music, you know. Sometimes people are not doing deep music because they know people won't go deep and investigate it. And for us, you know, it's a matter of life or death. You know, we feel dead inside if we not do it dead serious. And
I get that, man. I get that.
And when someone, I mean, in your status, who's, I mean, getting this album and writing such a great review on it, that was really, you know, a big compliment for me.
I'm very humbled. Thank you very much. I mean, I just wanted to give credit where it's due, because honestly, I think that with what you guys have done here, you've created something that's really going to start something big. I mean, you never know where it's going to go, because honestly, the artwork on it is awesome, and every track has its own kind of soul to it. You know, it has its own kind of idea, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, you say something big, but you know, there are a lot of elements to succeed, and in the end, we're living in the Middle East. You know, we're not in the center of Europe, or we're not in the United States that we can say we have an opportunity now to push it big and to go all the way. We live in here. We can maybe go to Europe for a few gigs here and there, and tour here and there.
Yeah.
But in the end, we're in the other side of the world in some ways. And the crowd of metal in Israel is very limited. It's a small country, and it's underground music, so, you know. By the end of the day, if we have a show of like a metal gig from abroad in here, and like 1,200 people are coming, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
For us, you know, it's a huge gig.
Well, if you think about it, it's like this. You say you live, you're on the other side of the world. But if you think about it, and I'm just taking this as an example here. If you look at bands like Celtic Frost, who lived in small villages when they were kids, they started off small and they became something that was seriously unique. I mean, I can say that. I think that Sintax has a lot of hope, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys actually do for the next record. Because if what you've done this record, and I really loved it, then the next record is going to have a lot more to it, because it's going to be the next evolution of Sintax, and that's the important thing.
Being in the rehearsal room and hearing the new songs, I can tell you that we're going in the same direction, but it's a little more harsh and
nice,
a little more extreme, but also a little more catchy, because this time I have a possibility to work on the melodies from day one. I told you I joined the band after most of the riffs were already written, and I rewrote the lyrics to everything and the melodies of the vocals.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it together, and with my two brothers, Roy and Lemmy, you know, sitting in the same room together, a lot of good things can come up.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, it is. I see it as a next evolution. You're right, because we feel like the new songs are one step forward in a lot of things, in not just in the message, also in the music. And we also did some mistakes on the process of this album that we're not going to do again. We know that already.
Yeah, well, people learn from mistakes, and they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's also not a long tradition of metal bands in Israel. You know, it's not like that. There is knowledge in every studio here, and people knows how to record this kind of music. And there are like producers and soundmen who are really into this kind of music. It doesn't exist in here. There are very few. We know all of them. We know what they're capable of doing. And they're all good. I mean, and they're all friends. But in the end, if you want to sound a little unique, you need to look across the border. You know, look across the sea towards Europe and United States and find the right people who will take it. Will take you to the right place, and you will sound right for the style. We know that we live in a limited scene, but it's growing. People are coming to perform here. I mean, there's a show of Cannibal Corpse in Iluvete very soon, and people are coming here all the time, which didn't exist when I was a kid.
I've noticed that.
It was very rare. Yeah. So we want to be part of it now. We're already, two of us are already 38 years old. We were born in 1976 and playing metal in the beginning of the 90s, you know. We already been there. I mean, I performed with Vader and Punch and Stench and these kind of bands in my previous band. And
nice.
Now in the age of 36, 37, 38, to start all over again and to say, I'm starting from, step one, and I don't mind what's going to happen. I'm a bloody metalhead, and I'm going to do it again, even though I feel a little older and even though I feel a little more tired sometimes because, we have kids now and our lives are more complicated. We're doing it. We did it all over again. We recorded a new album in this age. And we're working on a new one, and each one of us has another band that is investing in. And I mean, life couldn't be greater when you play,
Yeah, life's good, man. I'm 22, and I'm got the whole beard going on here.
Yeah.
but you're never too old to actually enjoy the things you love, because as long as you still have that fire in you, it's always going to pump faster, and it's going to create something that's stronger.
It's true, but bottom line, bands who didn't make it, even a little bit, by the age of 27, 8, 9, these people are vanishing. And only the people who succeeded on an international level are staying and playing, And we see ourselves as people who had it once already, and it's not a dream anymore. Now it's a way of life, and we have ambitions, but we don't have dreams anymore. We have ambitions. We know that we can do the things that we dreamed of, and we did some of them. The next step is, is right in front of you. All you need to do is take that step.
Yeah, never be afraid to do something you love, because in the end, you either, it depends on where you take it. Really, where you guys are taking it, you're really in control of it. I guess from what I can see, you're in control of what you've actually brought in or bringing into this world. You're bringing very powerful music.
Yeah, and again, we don't take it to the extreme. But it's powerful music because of its lyrics. It's powerful music because of the combination of guitars. And we feel like we have a lot of experience nowadays. We used to play, very fast music, like crazy thrash metal. And we thought it's the heaviest thing in the world and the craziest thing in the world. And we got it, that it's not a competition in the end of who is crazier and who plays faster. And, in the end, when you do something from your heart, people like you will in the end think it's a powerful creation, because it is. It comes from the right places,
Yeah.
In every style of music, not just in metal. The best blues is, people like Freddie King, who came from the dumpsters,
But again,
not people like Eric Clapton, who clean cut and
I love
playing on Fender Stratocaster. Yeah.
I love Clapton. I saw him too.
Yeah, me too. But I appreciate him, and I play him in my bar all the time. But
nice.
that's not the blues of the blacks from the streets, you know. He's not Freddie King and not Albert King and not Mud Waters, and he will never be. But he took it to another level.
English blues.
He was part of the evolution of that kind of music. But bottom line, when people came from the dumpsters and played blues, it sounded real. When people come from a war zone like us and they play metal, sometimes it sounds really real, because we're really going through these things. We don't need to turn on the television to see war sometimes, you know. It's a little crazy what's going on. So when you do it from that place and talk about these things, you can't be not mad and you can't be not real, you know.
I get you, man, yeah. So, I guess the final question is, do you have anything to say to the listeners out there?
Yeah, we just released our new album, so anyone who wants, you know, to hear it, we have already 2 songs on YouTube and it's available for sale. And basically, we are not stopping the train. We keep on working, and we're working on our new album. So I hope everyone stay tuned to what we're doing, and I'm really glad that you liked it again.
Well, it is fantastic. It's such a fucking good album. And also to those listening as well, you've also got t-shirts, don't you?
Yeah, we have t-shirts.
On the
they even gave me one. They even gave me one. So
you can find it on the official website, can't you?
Yeah, you can buy them in the website. We have all kind of merchandise coming up also.
I'm gonna look into getting a shirt then. Nice. So anyway, this is Michael J. Coyle. You have been listening to a very pleasant conversation with me and Yehi Zaken from Sintax. Check out Sway for a Better Day and keep it metal.